Rob Hornby joins us right now. He's the co-CEO over at AlixPartners, a business advisory firm that helps companies navigate complex situations. All right, one of the most complex ones, of course, is what we just watched there with the president and the Fed chair. I am curious as to what you're hearing from folks in the C-suites about some of the political drama, because I've heard from folks in the market on Wall Street who kind of shrug their shoulders and they say, look, at the end of the day, the Fed is going to do what it does based on the data, not on political pressure. Are people in the C-suite, are they worried that maybe political pressure will start to seep in to Fed decisions?
I think CEOs are getting accustomed to issues every day. We can all think back, including me, to days when things seemed stable, where we made long-term plans, but that isn't the kind of world in which we live. So that's just one of many pressures facing CEOs and C-suites. Our survey, our annual disruption survey, tells us that actually people are getting used to it. They're less anxious than they used to be about it, and I think they're coming to terms with this being part of the job.
Yeah, and does that include, when you say they're less anxious, that includes the issues with tariffs as well?
I think tariffs are just one of many things, a particularly challenging set of issues for many companies. But of course, we had a pandemic, we have wars. We have a series of interlocking issues that are challenging businesses every single day. And the C-suite's job is to find a way through all of that.
There's sort of what I would call, I guess, the bad challenges and the good challenges. And one that I put in the good challenge bucket is kind of this explosion in technology, artificial intelligence and the associated technologies with it. On one hand, it's costing a heck of a lot of money, and I'm sure it's causing some anxiety as people try to figure out how to catch up or keep up. At the same time, there is a potential positive in this, assuming that this technology and the money that's being spent on it is deployed properly. Are you seeing that being deployed properly? Are you seeing the approach to AI as something constructive?
I think we're still earlier in the life cycle than people want to talk about. It's tough for CEOs because they need to be seen to be going up that curve. It's important, but on the ground, we're earlier than perhaps it looks. People are experimenting. I saw a stat the other day, 42% of pilots of AI are just abandoned entirely before they even get into live service. So we're still experimenting. AI in most companies today is not really at scale, but that's not to say that it's not going to be transformative, because I believe that it is.
The argument for the transformation is this idea that AI effectively will touch almost everything in our society in some degree or another. And some people are equating that to the Industrial Revolution, obviously the advent of computers in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Is it that big? Do you think it could potentially be that big and that transformative?
I think it is that big.
Yeah.
And since you mentioned the Industrial Revolution, of course, that was a huge upheaval. It was very difficult to navigate, but it created more jobs than it destroyed.
Yeah.
That was the same for the internet. It's my belief that could happen with AI. It's always easier to see the jobs that might go than the jobs that might come.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty positive about that.
But of course, when we talk about the Industrial Revolution, obviously probably the most famous quips are about the buggy whip makers and the stagecoach makers who got left behind. You did see a lot of job loss. Definitely. From the Industrial Revolution. You did see a lot of job creation as well, and obviously we know with the benefit of hindsight, on a net basis, job creation far outweighed, even on a per capita basis, of what we saw with job losses. Do you think that will be the same case for AI, that the net effects on the job market will be positive?
I do, and the reason, if we just take a little example, the internet effectively destroyed the physical travel agency industry, but it created 30 million web development jobs. Generative AI is in the process of disrupting them, but now we have prompt engineering.
Yeah.
I think we haven't seen very much of the new categories of jobs that are coming.
Where are those categories going to be? Because there's been talk about the labor market right now, particularly for entry-level people coming out of college, and that a lot of those entry-level jobs are kind of like grunt work that is, to a certain extent, being replaced by technology. If you listen to CEOs, they'll say this is a great thing. If you're someone coming into the job market, what's your entry point going to look like if those entry-level jobs are kind of overtaken by technology?
Well, someone has to manage these platforms. People need to curate them, they need to check them, they need to action things that arise from them. There's a whole series of human tasks around the platforms, and the platforms themselves require work. I think we should also just note that some of the physical tasks, AI is not coming for plumbers anytime soon. We could see a bit of a reevaluation of the way we value certain types of jobs, because some things are not going to get automated.
With regards to how companies are deploying AI internally, are you seeing or hearing about any significant improvements in productivity?
People who are starting with the old style machine learning, it's been around for decades, it was underused, but it's a very mature technology. People are getting results out of that. Generative AI is newer, it's less mature, but there's real benefits in 3 areas. Content, so the way we create and edit content. Coding is absolutely built for coding. And conversation, because in the end, generative AI is a natural language platform. In those 3 lanes, we're seeing real differences. What we're not seeing is the replacement of whole jobs. It's not mature enough, it can't orchestrate itself for long enough without going wrong to take a whole job.
With the deployment of AI and the associated technologies, what are the geographic differences you're seeing? I'm talking like kind of on a continent by continent, region by region basis. Is this sort of a winner takes all, or are we going to sort of have a global sort of AI industry that's cooperative and not, at odds, as it seems like today?
I think we only really talk about one race, and that's the innovation race. The United States is clearly leading that race, closely followed by China. Some of the European countries and others are also in that race. But the adoption race is actually a bigger race. That's going to be the unlock for productivity. Cracking the code on how to use the technology, wherever it was built, is going to actually be a bigger vector of value creation.
Yeah.
So I think that's a race we should talk about some more.
All right, well, we have to have you back on to talk about it, Rob. Appreciate you stopping by. Rob Hornby, co-CEO over at AlixPartners.